Movie notes on The Disaster Artist, 2017 film, 23 October 2024 viewing. So I just finished viewing this morning to midday viewing, Wednesday, 23 October 2024. And I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. And this is a biographical film about the making of a film, The Room, 2003 film, led by Tommy Wiseau. Outside mainstream Hollywood cinema, late 1990s to early 2000s. So it starts, and the kind of opening scene, if I'm recalling correctly, was like September something, 1998, and then the film was released in 2003. So late 1990s to early 2000s. And watching it, I've seen it before, and I would say in watching it, I'm trying to come up with like an interpretation of it a bit, and the movie / story, as I interpret it, is a bit about letting that feeling / that energy out that you have been feeling, even if it comes out in a non-mainstream or non-polished manner. The movie, The Room, then may still be ahead of its time. It may need a change in social conditions / circumstances to take off mainstream. So I have not seen the movie that this movie is about. They do at the end of this movie. So it's about how this movie gets made and some of the key players and the key player, like the man behind the movie, kind of Tommy, and then the team and kind of the dynamics of these people who are helping with the movie. You know, there's the draw to mainstream Hollywood of the, you know, was it Malcolm in the Middle? The guy who he's like, well, we could help you the role of a lumberjack, you know? So there's like the allure of mainstream Hollywood taking these people away from the project. So Tommy's trying to keep them on the project to finish this movie that's kind of not mainstream Hollywood. And so I'd say in watching this, in what little I know kind of about people who have been interested in acting, even if just like thespians in my own schools or stuff when I was growing up, is it really comes across like the breakthrough territory for this film is letting out that like energy in there, or you just like feel something but you don't know how to let it out. And this movie and like the film, The Room, are kind of about like letting that raw emotion out, even if it's not all posh, all glamored up kind of thing. And so I thought in terms of that, this movie does a very good job of, if that is what it's about, it does a very good job of communicating that and capturing that, and kind of making it apparent in this film about a film, but about the film being made. So if you're looking for a movie to watch a bit about kind of how a movie is made, and how, especially not like the mainstream, you know, or comic book movie these days, you know, kind of thing. It does provide that perspective, that view, based on real people. And now I was looking at The Disaster Artist. So one of the stereotypes, I'm part Native American by ancestral origins, and one of the stereotypes about Native Americans and those of us who are full and or part, you know, is that we make more accidents than other people. So we're kind of natural disasters in that sense. Each of us and each of the little wildlife, you know, as well. And so I was like, okay, so like, okay. In that vein, if I had enough money, I would buy Washington State as a nuclear waste site, which it is. I think it's still the largest nuclear waste site in the world. And I would also buy Minnesota as a toxic soil site, which it is, and allocate what I could to cleaning up the lands of my ancestors, since they have been trashed by invasives and have not been cleaned up. We are, those of us living in the vicinity of the nuclear stuff here in Washington State, we are just waiting for the toxins to seep into the water supply. Death is imminent for us without the cleanup up of American lands. So purchase if I can, since the United States of government has no interest in us Native Americans living. Instead, they are invested in generating electronic waste sites on multiple continents and multiple terrestrial bodies in our solar system. Does the moon already have some e-waste? Ooh. The invasives have torn the heart out of my Duwamish and Lakota peoples. I shall return the favor if I ever get the chance. So it's like, it's not really, it's something where they go, there's a disaster, you know, it's the Native Americans' problem because it's their land, but the people who made it were the invasives. So it's kind of it's an interesting thing because I can think of this movie a bit and be like, if people in mainstream Hollywood consider it a disaster, well, from that perspective, who caused it? The problem was it mainstream Hollywood, right? So calling somebody else a disaster when really the problem is them, well, it shows a lack of good judgment, or good reasoning, or coherent logic on their part, if they can't even recognize that they are the problem or the source of the problem. All right. So it's like, maybe I'll bring that up on this one. Sometimes something that gets framed as a disaster or a bad accident or stuff like that is like, well, the source of it, remember, this is partially frustration with mainstream Hollywood, so you can blame it all you want, but at the end of the day, if it gets made in relation to something else because the something else is the problem, then the impetus for the movie getting made is a bad culture in the mainstream, not the fringe movie. Okay, so, but not that they would ever be able to reflect or introspect that greatly on their own actions, kind of thing, or if they call it home, their own home. So there we go. So my movie notes on The Disaster Artist, 2017 film, 23 October 2024 viewing.